Hello, everybody. Good morning. How are we doing today? If you can hear me, leave a comment. Check. You see where you can leave a comment. Let me see. Most people are following on their phones. If you can hear me loud and clear, can you leave a comment? Leave a comment. Just at the bottom, you will see where you can leave a comment. Where you see chat publicly as, that's where you can leave a comment. And let me know you can hear me clearly. You can see me. Good morning, Ramses. How are you doing today? Good. Good. Yes, who else is following? Can you see? Can you hear? Good morning, Clifford. Good morning, Waze. Good morning. How are you doing today? Good morning, Stephanie. How are you doing today? Good morning, God love. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's session. And good to see you all here today for day 4 of our retreat. Good morning, Donald. Good morning, Bibi. Good morning, Jackie, Purity. Yes, good morning. All right, good to have everybody here. So let us get down to business so that we can cover what we have to do today. All right. So today is day 4 of our retreat that we're doing in preparation for 2023 as a community. And for those who are joining today, it is our practice, it is our yearly practice in our community Peak Performance Academy to prepare community members for the next year, just sharing insights and best practices and principles and values, change in character, change in mindset, tools, resources, whatever we can talk about that can prepare, everybody to have a better next year, because I believe in preparing and making conscious decisions as far as the new year is concerned, because for many people the best way to avoid the fact that only the date will change in your life is for you to consciously prepare for the next year that is coming. And today is day 4 of the program. And today we're talking about one of my favorite success hacks, which is relationships and the art of networking. Relationships and the art of networking. And we are using my book for 35 days of redefining you for success as our tool to prepare ourselves for next year. And day 4, we are looking at the power of the relationships and networking at industry events. I always say that if you interview me and you ask me to list the top 3 success strategies that anybody must embody in order to succeed, I can bet you that the power of building relevant relationships and taking advantage of industry events will be among the top 3. It will be among the top 3. And I am saying so because I have seen the power of relationships in my life and the power of taking advantage of industry events and networking at these events for the purpose of my career and business success, right? So we'll be talking about detailing, and I'll be giving more insights into this on how you can really take advantage of this, because many a times many people do not know even the importance of this and how they can actually leverage on the power of relationships and of course network at industry events and use these networking at industry events for the benefit of their career and their business advancement. Right? Good. So let's get to it. So day 4 morning talks about the main point, talk critically about if we really are the sum of the people we surround ourselves with. It is very important to surround yourself with the right ones, right? If we really are the, if we really are the sum of the people we surround ourselves with, it is very important to surround yourself with the right people. So there is the question here, which is talking about, you know, list 5 of your closest friends. Are they the right people to add value to the kind of life that you want? Are they the right people to add value to the kind of life that you want as a person? Right? So, this is day 4 morning talking about, because there is a concept that has been greatly or used to be greatly promoted and is still being promoted by success experts and coaches, that we become like the people we keep very close. So we are the sum of the people we surround ourselves with. And some people say that your 5 closest people greatly determine who you are as a person. And I strongly believe in this concept because association determines assimilation. The people that you constantly associate with will determine what you assimilate as far as your mindset is concerned, as far as developing new attitude is concerned, and as far as your belief system is concerned. That is why when you grow up in a particular family, the truth is you will almost, if not 100%, behave exactly like the people around your family, because you grew up around these people and they greatly determine who you are, or the kind of mindset to develop, the attitude to develop, the culture, and every other thing that you develop. So I always strongly advise that if there is one thing in your life that you must strongly make a very intentional decision about, are the people closest to you. You see, those people you call best friends, or this kind of friend, or whatever name that you give them, it should go beyond emotions. It should go beyond the kind of mindset that you have about them. It should be purpose driven. It should be vision driven. It should be quality driven. It should be value driven, right? Because if you check at your life, whether you like it or not, your closest pals determine how far you will go in life. And the kind of people that you have access to, and the kind of people that you listen to, and the kind of people that you observe, and the kind of people that you watch, greatly determine how you see the society and how you behave in the society. Right? So I want to ask you a question. Are you proud of your 5 closest friends? You may not have up to 5, but those people that you call them close friends, are you proud of them? Right? Are these people, the second question says, are they the right people to add value to the kind of life you want? Now, this question to me is the most important questions. There are two things that are very important in that question. Number one, the value that these people add and the life that you want. Because the life you want should be the basis that you follow to determine the kind of friends you want to have around you. The life you want should be one of the bases that you use to determine the kind of people that you draw closer to your relationship. You get the concept? Is it going? So, as you cross to next year, one of the things that I do personally, and I hope that you can do, is I always create time to check the new friends that I picked along the current year. Oh yeah, I do that. You can call it friendship audit. You can call it relationship audit. I'm sure there are many of you that there are many new people you just met in 2022, right? Did you meet some new people in 2022 who have grown to become closer to you, or you communicate so frequently? Can anybody confirm that in the chat box? Have you done that? Have you met some new people, and you guys are not just new people, but you guys have grown maybe to even do business together, to even work together, to even carry out projects together, and to even communicate a lot more together, right? Yeah, so we have all done that. We have all met a lot of new people, right? But then meeting those new people doesn't mean that they have become, your best friends. They have become guys in your closest circle, right? Personally, for me, I like to break down the people around me, what some people call friends, into three levels. There are people I call them acquaintances. There are people I call them friends, and then I have an inner circle. Okay, yeah, because it is very important. And I've always taught the concept. This is my opinion, and it's not just really like a law in the journey of success, but it's just a a, 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 a an example, a concept to explain the power of relationships. So I've always said that if you are a young person and you are 20 years and above, and if you have a problem of 200,000 francs, right? 200,000 francs, for those who are following this session from the US or other countries, how much is that in dollars? $400, something like that. You have a problem of 200,000 francs, and your closest friends, I mean, your inner circle, let me use that, and the guys in your inner circle cannot raise that money for you, in less than 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I think that you have a problem with your inner circle. And I will go further to tell you that I am not saying that friendship should be determined by money that people have. I am not saying that quality relationships should be determined by the money that other people have. What I am saying is your personality, your attitude, and the value that you command also affects the kind of friends, the kind of people that you attract in your inner circle, right? Like, for example, me personally, the kind of guys I have in my inner circle, based on my personality, based on how I look at life, based on my attitude, based on my principles, based on the kind of things I tolerate around me, automatically this atmosphere shifts some people out of my circle, and the guys who are in my inner circle are also guys who are going places and they have almost the same status like me or whatever they're looking for. Sometimes it happens automatically. That is why when you are talking about attracting the right people in your network, check yourself. Check yourself. Are you valuable? Do you have the right mindset? Do you have the right attitude? Do you have the right principles? Do you have the right skills? Are you forward looking? Do you sound intelligent? Are you really intelligent? Are you driven? Are you somebody worth having as a good friend or as a good somebody in the inner circle? When you have these things, I bet you automatically, you attract the right people who are almost thinking like you, are in the same social class like you and everything. I always say a funny scenario. For example, from this is my personal observation, right? And I don't always shy talking about it. In my closest circle, I think that the guys in my inner circle, I am the poorer guy in terms of finances. Like I am not the richest in my circle. Guys from my inner circle have more money than me. That's from my analysis. I work with them, this and all of that. So I think they have more money than me and all of that. Right? And these guys, I did not select them. I did not pinpoint them that, oh, be my friend because you are rich. Be my friend because you are rich. No. These guys, we like they always say in physics, likes attract likes, right? We naturally now just attracted ourselves based on what? Based on our values, based on our principles, based on our visions, based on our character, based on the kind of skills that we command, based on our spiritual beliefs, because most of my guys are Christians, right? And all of that. All of them are Christians, they are believers, they pray, we fast together, we do things together spiritually. You get the concept? So, as you are intentionally, and I'm using the word intentionally, right? Please, in all you do in this success journey, intentionally invest in your relationships. Intentionally take the lead to make sure that you have the right relationships. And let me give you a tip of how you do this. Many of you that you follow me, I talk a lot about relationships. And maybe you have been thinking, how can I really help my people, help the people? Because sometimes you may see people around you and you say, like, see, these people, we can really form a good inner circle and become good friends, but you don't know how to go about it. Is there anybody here like that? Are you here like that? Leave me a comment. If you are here and there are some friends around you where you know you have seen that this person, the way they live their life, the way who they are, you would like to really get them together and build an inner circle. You can take that leadership. Is there anybody who wants to do that? Leave me a comment. Let me see. You want to do that? Leave me a comment. Okay. Yes. If I see like 10 comments, I will teach the secret to go and do that today. Let's say you really understand the power of having an inner circle of friends that you can stand together. Okay? But they may not have the same wisdom and knowledge about the power of relationships like you do. But you want to help them so that you guys can come together and build a strong inner circle that you guys can fight together. You guys can use together and succeed together. Okay? There are many people who, if you are stranded financially now, I was asking somebody, let's imagine you are living alone and you have a problem. You have a problem at 12 a.m. in the night. That person you call your best friend, that person you trust so much, can that person leave their house at 12 a.m. in the night to come to your house to save you or to protect you? Or let me give another scenario. I have heard stories where, like in Cameroon, even in the US, even in different countries, where sometimes if you have a court case or you have a case with the police, you will need somebody to bail you. I have seen people almost go to jail because they had an issue with the police. They had a court case, and the case is a situation whereby they can bail them out from the cell or from the prison, from the court, and then the case can be followed later while they are free doing their things. And they will call people up and down, and there's nobody who is willing to risk their money, their time, and their influence to bail the person out of that case. That's a very difficult place to be in life. Very difficult. For some people, maybe you have been there, it could just be you're in a hospital or you're in a difficult situation and you need just 50,000 francs, $100, $200, 200,000 francs, even 1 million francs, even. It's not a lot of money, right? But there is nobody to stand the gap and stretch their hand and pull you out of that difficult situation. Right? So what can you do? You can now invest to build the inner circle. Okay? Good. Now, how can you build this inner circle? Let's say that where you are right now, when you look at people around you, there are some people you call friends around you. You guys only do things together once in a while and all of that. But you want to take the friendship to the next step where you have an inner circle where it's driven by code, respect, support, love, togetherness, growth. There is no jealousy. There's only support. You support. You want to really create that structure, that inner circle that will benefit you and benefit them. What can you do? Let's say you are the one who have that initiative. Here's what I did. I identified them. And I created an emergency WhatsApp group, and I just put everybody inside. And before creating that WhatsApp group, I stated the objectives of the WhatsApp group. Then at the end, I said, after reading this objective for this group, if you don't feel like being part of this community, you are free to leave. I will not have anything against you. That's what I did. But remember that I carefully selected, and I did not talk to them behind the scenes. No, I wanted it to be that way so that they understand. And if you respect me as your friend, you will stay in my WhatsApp group I've created to hear what I have to say first before you even leave, right? So I did not, that's why I did not talk to them one-on-one, because I was already rating the deepness of the friendship for each individual based from the beginning of that. That's what I did. Then I created like a 10-point reason for that. And I said, okay, you see, and fortunately, most of the friends, we know ourselves like just from afar, right? But in that inner circle, in that inner circle, I was like the person who was like the main person where, dragged them together and all of that. So I created structured all of that, and I brought them together, and then we started a discussion, right? And I introduced the concept. And with the concept introduction, the first thing I needed was to make people to understand and to buy into the concept. You get the concept? So, and also, what do you think about this initiative? And people said, oh, it's good, it's great, it's a nice idea, I think it's going to help us all, and all of that, right? Good. Now, I see somebody raising a question that I notice a lot of dishonesty too, if you are not careful though. Now, again, it all depends who you attract into your circle. Let me tell you, there are millions of honest, hardworking people, right? So, if you have the right, your job, first of all, is not to judge people. Your job is to be the right person. Your job is to be upright and righteous. That's the first you have to do in life. Forget about others being dishonest first. Are you honest? Are you righteous? Can you be trusted? Do you have integrity? Sort yourself out first before you are pointing out or accusing fingers at others, right? But let me tell you something. One thing I've noticed is your personality will attract the same thing. My guys in my neighborhood, we have never experienced dishonesty. We have never experienced failure or anything for we have never experienced that. But it doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes. But there are certain things that we have never seen happen in our inner circle. Do you know why? Because Your nature. See, I don't know how this works for you, but if you like, for example, if you're around me and you don't respect time, I bet you we cannot stay for 2 months. The friendship will crumble because time is very important to me. You miss out time, I will just start avoiding you. So that's why I said earlier, when you want to attract good people in your network, the kind of personality that you embody and practice will determine the kind of people that you attract into your network. That's why you see smokers working with smokers. Drug addicts have drug addicts as friends. Alcoholics have alcoholics as friends. That's as simple as like attract like. Simple. You get the concept. So start from there. And then the most important thing you have to do is establish a code of conduct for your inner circle. Yes, like you can establish a code of conduct. These are things that if you are in this inner circle and you want us to stand with you, you have to respect this code of conduct. Let me give some examples. In our inner circle, we don't drink alcohol. You get the point? We don't drink alcohol. Number two, in our inner circle, it is clearly stated that if you are married, you are never supposed to raise your hand on your wife. Yes, it's in our code of ethics like that. You are never supposed to raise your hand on your wife. And then everybody is, and there are consequences. When you go against certain things, there are consequences. It's not like we're going to beat you. I don't know. Sometimes you can even be expelled from the group. That's the worst case. It will have consequences where you have to lose money, right? Like we have the consequence where if you mess up, you may have to pay the flight of another friend who is traveling to any country that they want. You have to pay, or you leave the group. So you have to choose to go through the consequence of losing money, or you leave the group. But when you see the value of the group, right? When you see the value of the group, you will choose to pay the price for messing up than to leave the group. Now, imagine a community where you cannot be stranded because of 1 million matter. Imagine a community where somebody knows somebody who can call somebody in any office to sort you out. You get the concept? So, but you can build the community. You can take the leadership to do that. But in all that I'm saying is, before morning, please pay attention. Pay attention to your network. The people that surround you are very important. Like I've always said, it is either people grow with you or you outgrow them. Avoid feeling sad that maybe if I succeed and cut off with this person, they will say I got successful and I forgot about this person. You did not cut off anybody. Status in life automatically separated the two of you. Okay? Focus on growing. Help them to grow for those who are willing to grow. Like there are many of you here where you have convinced many of your friends to join PPA and they refused. Few months later, many of your friends started saying that you are avoiding them. Is that true? Many of you have told me that story. Anybody going through that? Confirm in the chat box. Confirm. Leave me a comment. Anybody going through a situation where you have friends where you convince them to join PPA, they refuse, but while you were in PPA, your mindset changed, your exposure changed, how you look at things changed, how your commitments, your goals, how you work hard changed, and now your friends started feeling as if you have abandoned them behind. You're no longer doing the things that they normally do. They now feel as if you're leaving them behind and you're abandoning them. Is anybody? Yeah, so many of you have shared that story with me. What is happening is you outgrew them. That's what happened. You are not wicked to say, hey, don't be my friend again. No. What happened was your character changed, your attitude changed, your mindset changed, your exposure changed, your goals changed, the way you are committed to life changed. And this automatically made you to raise your standards. And when you raised your standards, what happened? When you raised your standard, what happened? Since they were not ready to reach to your standard or be committed to hard work, let me tell you, waking up at 4 a.m. to go through this coaching session with me is not easy. Very few people can wake up at 4 a.m. every day for 30 days to go through a retreat program like this to prepare to have a better year. Very few people. And that is a high standard you have set for yourself. And with the high standard that you have set for yourself, your friends around you have two options. Or let me say three options. Three options, right? Option number one, they should grow with you. Or option number two, you will outgrow them and they remain the same. That's option number three. You outgrow them, then they remain the same. Okay? Good. Now, let's look at day 4 evening and then we'll round up for today. Day 4 evening is one of my favorites. Day 4 evening talks about, let me see. Day 4 evening talks about this very important concept, which is successful people are always networking with each other at events, conferences, and mastermind groups. The question you're asking yourself is, am I outgoing enough that I network with the right people? Do I attend relevant events like conferences? Right? Good. Now, this particular point is very peculiar because this is not just talking about general networking per se. This is talking about industry networking, networking at conferences. There is a certain dimension of growth in your career and in your business that you will under experience that will be affected by how you expand. By how you expand the quality and the quantity of your industry network, or what others may call professional network. Okay? So this is something where you need to be very conscious of. There are certain events that you will attend not only for the purpose of learning, but for the purpose of you stretching your influence in an industry. Let me tell you this. One of the secrets to stretch your influence in an industry is for you to build relevant networks with professionals in that particular industry. And what is the best way to do this? Attending industry events, conferences, and mastermind groups in those industries. This should be very specific, very, very peculiar and specific. Are you getting me? And you can also take this a notch higher, where if you are capable, you can intentionally travel for industry events in another country. One of the best ways to expand your influence in multiple countries is for you to leverage on industry events, attend these events, and make sure that you establish professional connections and networks with professionals in that your industry who are in different countries. That is step one. When you do that in step two, because I like to break professional networking into 3 levels. Follow me here very carefully. Because if you know this and do it, it will change your life. I have done it, I am still doing it, and I'll do it till I die. Okay? Now, follow me here very carefully. So, I'm enjoying this, right? I don't know. Thank God I tried to stand up. It's been a while that, I trained this. So I'm enjoying myself training and standing today. So follow me here carefully. There are 3 dimensions to do this. I was using a different country, right? Let me say I have a very good professional network in Kenya. Let me say and Dubai also. Let me say Dubai. I have a very good professional network in Dubai, right? And I used this strategy to establish this network, which is still very fruitful today. And I'll show you how I did that, right? Remember I said, if you want to expand your industry influence, if you want to expand your professional influence, one of the best ways to do that is for you to build professional networks in your industry, and you do that by leveraging on industry events, industry conferences, and industry masterminds. And I said, you can do this within the country, and if you are able, where you can do that outside the country, you can do that by attending industry events outside the country. Are you following? If you're following, comment, I'm following. Are you following? Leave me a comment. So you can decide and pay your flight ticket if you are able, and go for events in Rwanda, in Dubai, in Kenya, in Johannesburg, in the US, in Europe, in anywhere that you can, okay? But you are not just going there so that you can learn, but you're also going there because you have a mission to expand your industry influence, not just nationally, but internationally. When you go there, what is the first step of networking? Engage with the people, introduce yourself, exchange contacts, and get their contacts. That's level 1 of networking. Are you there? You exchange contacts. You introduce yourself very well. Have a pitch. It could be an email that you will send. It could be a WhatsApp message, whatever. But don't go and send hello, hi. I'm saying a pitch. Have a well-structured message that you send that will show that you are a professional. That's level 1. Now, level 2 of this networking is where you ensure that the person understands your value and the value that you can bring to the table for them. Very important. Let the person understand your value and the value that you can bring into their life, the value that you can bring into their professional life, even the value that you can bring into their business life. And not this. I always strongly encourage, give the value first for free. Provide the value first for free. Remember, it's a new network and you're trying to establish it. You get the concept? Now, that's level 2. Level 3 now, you now take it to level 3, where you now make sure that you guys do a project together. You guys do a project together. Nothing cements a professional relationship like when you do a project with a fellow professional together. Let's say that you discover that you all run NGOs. You may notice that the person you're trying to relate with is planning a community event. Offer to go and volunteer and support that event actively without asking for anything. Make sure you do something together. Cement that new relationship by doing something together. When you do that, you have passed the dimension of just acquaintances. You are now almost like a stakeholder. And if you consistently maintain the discussion, you can be recognized as an active stakeholder or an important professional partner. Please do not play with industry events. Friends, quarter friendships, church friendships, all of that, they are good. They have their place. but you see industry networks, you see industry relationships. These relationships are the ones that directly affect your career and your business directly. Many of you have shortcomings in networking as far as industry events are concerned. Is that true? If you look at why your career is having shortcomings a lot, you will see that you are weak as far as industry networking is concerned. Who feels that you are weak as far as industry networking is concerned? Who feels that he or she is weak? That's why I always encourage that please make sure that you are attending events, even if it's just one event a month. And now in this dispensation, it's much better because there are so many free online events. There are so many free online events. And I did mention about masterminds. You are networking with people in masterminds. Peak Performance Academy is an example of a mastermind. There are so many great people in PPA. So many great people. It's a community of almost 180 people. So many great people in PPA. That's a mastermind. There's nothing wrong taking out time. It is much easier for you because you already have a platform that makes the introduction easy. Hi, my name is this. I got that number from PPA. We are all members of the group. So introduction is much easy for you to establish a discussion and build a professional relationship that can even lead to something beautiful tomorrow. Personally, I have done some amazing works with many guys in PPA. You see, and I'm still looking forward to working with so many people. That's the power of industry events. So I want to challenge you. For some of you listening to me, one of your most important investments that you will have to do next year is for you to invest greatly in attending industry events. And when you attend them, please do not leave without contacts. And don't just get contacts. Make sure you have a strategy on how you will follow up to establish relationships with these contacts. And some contacts may not be receptive. It's okay. Do your part. Me, I have contacts till today when I try to connect, they are not receptive. It's okay. I have done my part. I have had situations many times where I tried to connect with somebody 2 years ago. 2 years after, they are not seeing me and they're like, oh, we met somewhere. And then they'll try to go and trace emails and all of that. It happens. Nothing wrong with that. But do your part. Do your part. So this is very important. Okay? Go and wake up your industry networking activities. Many of you are struggling financially. Many of you are struggling business-wise. Many of you are struggling with your career because you have a very weak industry network. Very weak. Let me tell you something. The people that will pay for your services are not your family members, friends, and church people. Only a small number of them will pay for your services. Only a small number of them will acknowledge the value you bring to the professional value that you create. Whether I like it or not, that's true. Only a small percentage of your friends, family members, church members, village people, quarter people, whoever you can think of in that area, only a small percentage of them can acknowledge the professional value that you can bring to the table and, of course, pay for it or even endorse you. And that is why you need to take a step up as far as your networking is concerned and invest intentionally in industry networking, because that is where you will find people who will recognize your value, your competence, and be willing to deploy it and pay you for it. Many of you listening right now, you know that I'm talking to you. You know that that's where your challenge is. You know that that's where you're weak. You have just realized that maybe this is why I know that I'm good at something, but I cannot make money from this thing. I know that I have these skills, but I can barely find where people can acknowledge my skills and use me for these skills and pay me for these skills. Many of you know that because you only revolve around fellow village people, friends, and funny people who cannot acknowledge and recognize you for the value you bring to the table. Am I right? If I'm right, if I'm talking to you, say I'm talking to you. Go and repent. Say I'm talking to you and I'll repent. Am I talking to you? Who feels that this part is for you? You need to take this part seriously. Leave me a comment. Leave me a comment. Let me see. Let's be active. I need to get feedback. Good. So, you need to take consistent actions in these areas. Okay? It's very, very important for you to take it seriously. I want to challenge you. Just do this a little higher next year and see how your professional life will change. And let me give you a secret. Immediately your professional network start changing, I guarantee you your bank account will be affected. Do you know why? Because you start getting close to people who will be recommending you, endorsing you, selling you. A lot of things begin to happen. I have had speaking engagement where they pay me like 2 million francs to speak in an event, which I did not look for the opportunity. I was recommended by a professional who knows that I am good at this. They now recommend me and I get paid. Okay? So you're going to wake up in that area and take action immediately. I want to challenge you. Start with PPA. There are so many amazing people in the group. Start with them. Look at those people that you don't have their numbers saved. You have never spoken to them. Inbox them. Exchange. That is a professional there with you. And you never know where somebody can help you tomorrow. You never know what somebody is good at until you talk to them. Okay? All right, everybody. That's it for today, for day 4 of our retreat in preparation for the new year. Any questions? You have questions for me before we end the broadcast? You have questions? Ask them now. Questions before we end? Okay then, no questions. See you tomorrow, same time, for day 5 of our retreat program as we prepare for next year. Please make sure this retreat is for you to make conscious decisions. Please. It's not going to come and listen to me and then just go and just because you receive sense. Receiving sense is not enough. Knowledge acquisition is one thing. Knowledge deployment is another thing. Okay? Go and get to work. Go and practice. Go and make a plan. Your life should not be... One thing I hate is for somebody to be around me and their life remains the same. I don't like it. You're around me, your life should be changing financially, your life should be changing professionally, your life should be changing business-wise, you're an entrepreneur, your life should be changing spiritually. When your life changes in these 4 dimensions, you can never struggle. Friendship involves everything. Friendship should be sacrificial, transactional, emotional, commitment, true friendship. I'm talking about friendship that is reciprocal. It involves everything. Because someday you will need a friend to sacrifice for you. I'm telling you. And someday, I mean, I and my friends will do business transactions and we get profit from the business deal. So friendship involves everything. It is one thing is not left aside. It also involves spirituality. You pray together, you grow together. Okay? Nothing is left aside. There's nothing like a time-consuming job. Everything that is important to you, create time for it. Create time for it. Schedule yourself. I've seen the most busiest humans on earth still attend industry events. You know your program better. You know your schedule better. Create time for it. Pick out events that you can fit and remove some things. There are days you can remove something to replace with an event if you know that it's important to you. Okay? I think it's just a matter of priority. It's a matter of scheduling. It's a matter of being conscious and making sure that if something is important to you, you will find a way to make it work. Okay? And both events, physical events as same as online events, they're important. All are important. The point is, are you establishing and making good use of the friendships and the professional relationships that you are establishing? All right, people. Have a great time. See you guys tomorrow. Cheers. Take care of yourselves. Remember, put God first place.